I sent $200 every month to my in-laws for 5 years, paying off my dead husband's debt. Then my neighbor grabbed my arm and whispered, "Stop sending them money and check the security camera." What I saw on that footage made my blood run cold. The smell of old plaster and dirty drains hit me as I parked my burgundy sedan in its usual spot at the base of the worn brick building. 5 years, same spot, same day, every month. The fifth, always the fifth. That's when I, Kasha, a 32-year-old widow, climbed those 5 flights of stairs with an envelope containing $200. Money that should have gone to my son Malik's milk, his tutoring, his basketball fees, but I had a debt to pay. When Marcus died in North Dakota 5 years ago, his mother pointed her finger at me, screaming that because of me her son had to leave home to work in the oil fields, that because of me he was dead, leaving them with nothing. They'd given him their entire retirement savings, $12,000, and now they demanded I pay it back $200 a month for 5 years. I accepted it as my last gesture of love for my husband, a way to have peace while raising our son. The stairwell was dark, each floor bringing its own sounds. The superintendent's radio on the first, burnt beans on the second, a couple arguing about bills on the third. But the 5th floor, where my in-laws lived, was silent, eerily silent. I knocked on apartment 504 sharp and clear. My mother-in-law Viola cracked the door open, keeping the chain locked, her sunken eyes filled with suspicion. I handed her the envelope through the narrow gap. "Here's this month's $200 for your medicine." She snatched it like a bird of prey, stuffing it into her housecoat without even looking at it. When I mentioned bringing Malik to visit, she waved her hand dismissively. "Your father's leg is bad and I have a headache, a child is too much noise. We'll call when we're ready." Same excuse as always. In 5 years, my son had been in that house maybe 5 times, kicked out after 15 minutes each visit. The door slammed in my face before I could say goodbye. I pressed my ear against it, expecting to hear TV, voices, anything. But there was only silence, terrifying silence, like the house was a tomb. As I walked back to my car, Miss Hattie, the former tenant association president, grabbed my wrist. "Did you go pay those 2 again?" she asked, pulling me close. "Stop giving them money. The dead sometimes ain't that dead." My heart stopped. "What are you talking about? My husband died 5 years ago. We have the death certificate. We brought his ashes back." She shook her head. "I ain't talking about ghosts. I'm talking about flesh and blood. Late at night, around 1 or 2 in the morning, I see a shadow going up to the 5th floor. The way he walks, that limp with the dropped shoulder, just like Marcus after his motorcycle accident. And the strangest thing, whenever you bring money, that same night or the next, that shadow appears. He takes out a key and opens their door like it's his own house." I tried to dismiss it, but she cut me off. "There's a security camera on the landing between the 4th and 5th floor. Get the footage if you don't believe me." I drove home in a daze, my mind racing. Why did Viola always demand the money so harshly? They had Social Security, almost $2,000 a month. Why did they need my $200 so desperately? Last summer, when I brought oranges, I glimpsed inside their apartment, all the blinds drawn tight in the sweltering heat. No air conditioning, windows closed. How could 2 old people stand that unless they were hiding someone? I called my cousin Dante, a computer genius. "I need footage from the security camera in my in-laws' building, between the 4th and 5th floor, around 1 to 3 in the morning for the last 3 months. He got it the next day. When he showed me the screen, my world shattered. There, in grainy black and white, was a man in a baggy jacket and cap, face covered by a mask, climbing the stairs with a distinctive limp. Right foot first, then dragging the left, shoulder dipping. That walk was unmistakable. It was Marcus. He pulled out keys, unlocked the door with ease, and slipped inside. The next month, same thing. And the month before that, the pattern never changed. Always the night after I delivered the money. I felt sick. For 5 years, I'd been paying the very man who was hiding in that apartment, who'd cruelly let his wife and son suffer for a fake debt. I'd given them almost $14,000 counting extras for holidays and medicine. Money that could have changed my life and Malik's, but I had to stay calm, be smarter than them. I started investigating. My neighbor Mrs. Jenkins told me she heard heavy footsteps upstairs late at night, like a young man, not an old one. And those 2 are so stingy, always complaining about being broke. But every night I see your mother-in-law taking out huge trash bags full of pizza boxes and beer cans. What are 2 old folks doing eating those things? Pizza and beer, Marcus's favorites. A few nights later, I went to their apartment at 8 p.m. with a foot massager as a gift. Through the door, I heard Viola's voice, "Eat, son, eat, while it's hot." And a deep, raspy voice, Marcus's voice, "Relax, ma, I got it all under control. When I finish getting paid off, I'll disappear." That fool wife of mine believed it all. She hasn't missed a single month. When my father-in-law Elijah cracked the door, I heard a man's cough from the back bedroom. He snatched my gift and slammed the door, but it was too late. I had confirmation. Dante found more evidence. My in-laws' bank account had tens of thousands of dollars, all their pension checks deposited, but never withdrawn. They were living on cash, Marcus's cash from whatever illegal business he was running. I needed one more piece proof of the fake death. When I asked for the original death certificate and forensic report, he stuttered and made excuses. Those papers don't exist anymore. Everything was done through humanitarian channels. That weekend, I took Malik to Marcus's hometown in Indiana, supposedly to put flowers on his father's grave. While my son played with grasshoppers, I opened the urn in the cemetery niche. Inside weren't ashes, just construction stones and dust. For 5 years, we'd been praying to rubble. I recorded everything as proof, then sealed it back up. In one photo, he was wearing a watch with a blue face and a distinctive scratch near the clasp, the Seiko I'd given Marcus for our anniversary, with our initials engraved on the back. Why did Darius have Marcus's watch? Dante traced Darius to an industrial park in Gary, Indiana. Every night at 11, he'd drive to an abandoned warehouse, carrying bags of food and supplies, staying about an hour. That's where Marcus was hiding. We went there the next night, hiding behind rusted barrels. At 11:15, Darius arrived on his motorcycle, kicked the warehouse shutter 3 times in a rhythm, and it opened. Out stepped a man in a tank top and shorts, long messy hair, neglected beard, but those eyes that hunched back, it was Marcus. I'd pressed the recorder to a crack in the wall and captured everything. In a month, after my parents collect the last payment. I admire my folks' acting. They cry poverty, and she swallows it all. Marcus shrugged. I went to North Dakota to make money, but got into gambling, owe 50 grand to the mob. Had to fake my death so they wouldn't find my family. I came back broke with more debts. If I didn't get money from my wife, what was I going to eat? But I like taking it from her. Why not? Besides, my folks have an excuse to complain to neighbors and nobody suspects the money I give them. He paused. Screw them. Kesha's young and pretty, she won't lack for men. I did her a favor. I turned off the recorder. The man I'd loved was truly dead. The one in there was a monster. We went to a lawyer the next morning with all the evidence, the recording, the empty urn video, the security footage. The police organized raids for that night. At 2 a.m., the call came, target detained in the warehouse. Marcus was arrested, handcuffed, broken. When they played him the recording, he confessed everything. 3 months later, at trial, Marcus got 12 years for aggravated fraud and document forgery. His parents, due to their age, got probation but had to return every cent. I sold our old apartment and bought a new condo with the settlement money, small but filled with light. One afternoon, picking Malik up from school, he shouted, "Mama, I got an A in math." I hugged him tight. We walked hand in hand down a tree-lined street, the wind carrying the smell of linden trees. The painful past was locked behind prison walls. Before us opened a new future, bright and peaceful. I discovered how strong I was and learned that true happiness doesn't come from blind sacrifice,